Well, welcome y'all to today's edition of Beyond the Ordinary Show. And man, I was excited for this call. It's Sarah Elise just brings another level of wisdom, embodiment, and a blueprint that we get to work with to reveal not something outside of us, but reveal what is innately us. But to have the guidance of that and that map can be such a catalyst for anything that we're experiencing and can point to the deeper levels of the ahas that really liberate us from truly ignorance when we can step into the catalyst of our real power and authority and what is actually assisting us in that growth or recognition. So it's going to be an incredible call. We're talking about how your birth chart is going to help you understand yourself as a soul and a body and so much more. We'll probably get into some quick readings with Sarah Lise. Um, but again, today's call, I already feel it. The energy is building up. It is preparing to be epic. So no pressure, Sarah. Um, but it just is what it is. And welcome to the call today.
Thank you. It's always so great to hang out with you, John. I really appreciate
Mm.
it.
We're before we get on the call and yes, I want to get into the chart, but it's really pivotal what's coming in. I'm experiencing a calling into a deepening and an awareness embodiment and a surrendering too. An energy of sovereignty that is more powerful than I have ever felt it in my existence in this lifetime.
Yeah.
What is up in the stars right now?
Oh my God. Well, we are on track. We're
Mm,
feeling it. So there is so much going on right now. This year is a pivotal change point, and we're in a transitional state energetically. So we're oscillating a little bit, and there's a lot of chaos
mhm,
in the energy field as we go back and forth from new to old. Um, but what is essentially happening is we're moving into a new frequency level, and the major outer planets are which determine the greater dream that we're dreaming, like the greater collective field. They're all changing.
mm,
Neptune is changing sign, Uranus is changing sign. Pluto did change sign in 2023, so that one happened, and then fully in 2024. So the last year, it sort of set the pace. But I think the major thing we're feeling right now is the Neptune transition. So I'd
mm.
love to talk about that a little bit, if that's okay, if you're open to that.
I would love to. And just for impact, also, those outer planets are the slower moving planets, so it
Yeah,
takes longer. So we're really in an evolution. We're at the nexus of an evolution right now with those coming to a changing of the guard.
exactly. They move so slowly that they define huge kind of meta cycles in our collective evolution.
Mm,
So, just for example, Neptune as a planet takes probably around 14 to 16 years to go through an archetype, to go through a sign. And when it moves through a sign, it defines the dream that we're dreaming. It
mm,
gives us the meaning of our life, the spiritual call, so to speak. When Neptune was in Capricorn in the 80s, we dreamt a dream of money and capitalism
Greed is
and
good,
Margaret
yes.
Thatcher. We really did it. And then when Neptune moved into the area, to Aquarius in the late 90s, we started to dream a dream of technology. And it was
Mhm.
all about the internet started to boom and technology grew through the 2000s, huge tech booms. As Neptune moved into Pisces in 2012, we started to dream a dream of the collective, of all of us being one. We
Mm.
invited, the underdog to rise up. We blurred the boundaries. We blurred our borders. There was a oneness that came onto the planet, and a permission to be kind and gentle and sweet to each other, and to protect the innocent, and to protect the victims, right?
Mm.
Now, that is coming to a close right now.
Mm.
The blurred borders are closing. Boundaries are being put up. kindness. It's going to feel to some of us sensitive folks that things are getting really uncomfortable and maybe even aggressive or
Mm.
violent. There's a lot of that I want to prepare us, especially those of us who are very Piscean and very open and sensitive, for
Mhm.
what is actually happening. So we are being asked to come into our sacredness of self. Neptune is moving into Aries. It's the sacred warrior. Aries represents the part of us that is our inception. From the very moment we enter, we are what we came here to be. We are free. And
Mm.
Neptune in Aries is going to command that we honor our freedom and that we honor the freedom in each other. It's
Mm.
also going to command that we get to know who we are very deeply and that we accept ourselves very deeply. This is an era for the next 14 years of I am me, my
Mm.
adventure, my pulse, my perfection, my expression, my divinity. And the reason this is happening is because Pluto has moved into Aquarius, and Pluto brings massive evolutionary change, but it also brings up a lot of shadow. We have to push against Pluto. It's not simple. It commands and demands that we focus on the darkness within an archetype that has previously been born and that we break through it. And the darkness of Aquarius, I hate to say it, is totalitarianism, top down control, group think, and a lack of freedom. That's the shadow of Aquarius, right? So within that, we have to find the courage to be ourselves. We have to find the courage to trust who we came here to be, the sacredness of me, the sacredness of self. And we have to learn the value and the meaning of freedom. And we
Mm.
have to have permission to fight warrior energy for freedom, for our
Mhm.
ability to be an individual. It's really important. Individuation doesn't, it means that I am allowed to be myself as long as I do not take away your freedom, John. I'm
Right.
not allowed to mess with your freedom. You are
Mhm.
not allowed to mess with mine. There is a bound that is worth preserving, that is worth protecting. However, the true sacred warrior knows that a sword that is sheathed is more powerful than a sword that is flailing around.
Mhm.
We have to sort of figure out when to put our fisticuffs away, like what's worth fighting for, what are we
Mhm.
really preserving, right? So there are a lot of lessons, but I think ultimately the energy is trying to bring us into
Mhm.
our self sovereignty, deeply, deeply, deeply internal into the me and choosing me.
You were describing the last 6 months of my life to
Yeah,
a T, to a T. And I know you read my chart, you know. Uh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah. And there's
There's some powerful energy just in you speaking of it and your awareness of the interpretation and the mythos that goes along with the helping us understand what's unfolding is so important because the archetypes and understanding how to describe those archetypes really lend themselves to being able to utilize this as a catalyst for change for the betterment of all of us.
Absolutely. It's a mantra.
Yeah.
Neptune is a tricky one. You can spiritualize through that energy. You can
Hmm.
elevate if you utilize it in the highest potential of it, right? The sacred warrior rather than just the warrior.
Hmm.
As there will be a whole range of frequencies presenting as we dream that Aryan dream in the next 14 years. And so for us as universal consciousness workers, we have to fight for the best of things, right? We have to organize according to the highest potential of these archetypes. We have to really truly make that choice to elevate into what they are, and by acknowledging what they are at all levels, it gives us that ability to choose, right? We can choose not to indulge in the lower levels of that archetype, and when we see it presenting in the collective field, we can hold our alignment. We don't
Hmm.
have to get pulled into the mud. We don't have to get pulled into the chaos and the craziness.
Right. I'd love for you to drop some wisdom because a lot of times when there's these planetary influence, it feels like we're being carried by a wave. but you actually teach that we can learn how to swim those waves as they come through and navigate them in ways that can become very enlightening and empowering for us. How is it that we can shift from being thinking we're being victimized by these currents and really be in a choice of choosing higher potentials and outcomes rather than just immediately going into the potential of a collective shadow because we're so used to going there.
I think it's I mean, for me, the way I choose, the way I give myself permission is by learning about the archetypes and learning about their full range of potential so that I can recognize what's going on in the collective field, identify it, see it, and then have compassion for it. And as long, I mean, the gift of astrology and the reason why astrology is such a great tool of awakening is because it gives us the permission to be objective to the reality that we're in.
Mhm.
Objectivity is turning on that higher self. It's turning on that higher mind. It's turning on that universal perspective. When we see that everything is just energy, it's all a pattern, and we can read that pattern, we then have sovereignty over the pattern. We don't get to choose the reality that we're in, but we can choose how we perceive it, how we act within it, how we identify ourselves within it. So we can objectify the reality and see it as an energetic construct, which gives us
Mhm.
permission to choose which frequencies within it we want to play with,
That's
and that's
beautiful.
education. I mean, I don't think anybody out there, not everybody has to become an astrologer. So, ultimately, when you're talking about personal ascension and personal responsibility, that's unique to each one of us. But ultimately, I do believe that we have a choice to go down and operate from our lower chakras and our more of our selfishness, or we can go up and we can choose to operate in source alignment. And that is our free will choice. We each have that. We each have that matrix or that lemniscat that we can choose to express on wherever we want to. And you don't need to know astrology to know how that feels when you're operating from your lower self or your higher self.
Right.
That's just something that we innately know. We all intuitively know that.
Hmm.
It's just a matter of choosing your universal consciousness, choosing your higher self, and honoring the lower self and being compassionate for it, right? Compassionate and helpful.
I think that's where the gift of being empathic and developing our empathy really comes in handy because we become that much more discerning and aware of those waves that flow through us, and we're more attuned when something feels in alignment in the expansionary energy rather than in destructive energy. So again,
Yeah.
sometimes we condemn this empathy, but it's really a guidepost into our enlightenment, and I would call it into an awakening of Christ consciousness within.
That's interesting. So when you say empathy, what do you mean exactly? Emotional sensitivity?
Definitely emotional sensitivity and psychic sensitivity simultaneously because it does feed the emotional in particular ways as we go through the stages of empathy.
So when
I
we're
believe that the masters had an empathy that could be not without emotion, but that weren't carried by emotions because they could see a greater picture, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you can feel the frequency of something, right? You
Right.
can tune into whether this is a hard or tense or contracted energy, and you can feel your pull into that and choose to step out of it into the broader. So I
Right.
guess that's where you're saying empathy is a guidepost. It's a
Absolutely.
signaler. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
100%. I agree with you.
You have a particular type of astrology. It's called embodied astrology. What's the difference between that and what people may typically be familiar with just as a generalized astrology or a Vedic astrology or the different parts? I so appreciate the way that you dive into my chart in particular, and I've heard other people come back to me and tell me how amazing it was. Your interpretation, um, the technology that you share that we get to carry forward, it's more than just realizing something about my favorite subject, which is me, right? When we do these readings and entertaining, it's really a tool that when harnessed correctly, can really help us like
Yeah.
activate great potentials that otherwise we might miss along the way or misinterpret.
100%. We all live within a tension a tension of choice. We can always choose to move away from God or toward God.
Mm.
And the birth chart is the gate or the map to that choice. So when you read the birth chart in a specific way, and actually I'm not an embodied astrologer, I'm an evolutionary
Evolutionary, sorry,
and
evolutionary. Yes, yes,
esoteric.
yes.
So I combine evolutionary astrology and esoteric astrology, and I sort of merge those two things together, which is why I can work a lot with light workers, because I can tune up into the esoteric level of the chart. And I can also work with anybody because I
Mm.
can tune into the karmic level of the chart, which is the evolutionary level. And even at both levels, there are different dynamics at play. But in any case, in our evolution, it's very simple. We're either moving into our lower self and we're doing work there to remediate karma or to balance out our structure or to inhabit our deeper self or our personal self, or we're moving up into our higher self, right? We're either going down or we're going up. And oftentimes we're doing both at the same time, or both potentials are available to us. So when we look at the whole chart and we can organize according to that tension of like what is down and what is up, we can start to see where we maybe get caught, where we want to go, and we can start to play with our own evolution. We can play with our own hero's journey and decide how we want to move forward, because ultimately all of us really want to move back towards source. That's
Right.
what feels good. That's
Mhm.
when we start to feel extraordinary. When we move away from source, we start to feel bad, cold, detached. We start to feel separate, sad. That's where we go. That's when your compassion would start to feel those crunchy feelings or those vibrations that are kind of more troublesome, or like a lower frequency. Neither is good or bad. I think like both of them are so perfectly necessary. We really can't go up unless we go down. You can't bypass your reality, and we're responsible for the karma that we incarnate with. However, when we understand it and we see it and we objectify it, then we have more control. We can work with it more effectively, and we can see what our higher potential is. We know what the path is back towards source. And when we know that, we have permission to make choices that move us toward that. And that becomes a conscious thing rather than an unconscious thing. And the name of the game is always consciousness, isn't it? It's always self-awareness. It's always
Right,
just having
absolutely.
your light bulb right on.
Well, and again, you just illuminate, you provide so many more lumens to that light bulb. It's like, wow, it's like, yes, this makes sense. There's an aspect of the session with you that feels so comfortable. It's like, God, wow, you can see me in ways that others, it's like that I try to express, but I don't know how. And it just lands in. You
Yeah,
shared something with me that I've repeated so often, and made so much sense for me specifically, um, about the context of my relationships and where my moon was, and an out of bounds component of that moon, and the intimate connection that I was really seeking because of that. And it just landed in a way that helped me really shed versions of what I believe was a codependency in relating, into it providing a compassion as to why I was so inclined to go so deep into exploring something beyond me. It was so beautiful. It set me free in ways that make so much
oh
sense.
my God, yeah, that beautiful moon of yours in the eighth house in Cancer. Is that, am I
Yeah,
remembering that
yeah.
correctly?
Mhm.
Oh my God, you love to go deep.
I do like to go
Yeah,
deep.
yeah,
And y'all, to let the cat out of the bag, Sarah Lee shared that that's my striving for intimacy with God, and how I won't stop until I reach that. And it's like and everything else happens to be a fractal of that in different ways, especially in intimate relationships. S-
absolutely.
So beautiful. And again, you unlock all these nuggets, all these gold mines, really, of seeing ourselves in a way that perhaps didn't even make total sense to us, that can
Mm,
be a liberation point so that we can embrace that sovereignty within us, because maybe we were putting that authority in something outside of us, hoping
yeah.
to reclaim it for ourselves.
100%. Or telling ourselves a story that was not true.
Yeah.
You were telling yourself a story about that and misunderstanding it and
Oh,
judging
yeah.
it because of the feedback you've gotten, right? You were insecure about it.
Hmm.
All of us do that. We
Yeah.
don't really, like, we don't see ourselves objectively. We see ourselves through the lens of our trauma or our conditioning and our karma as well. So sometimes having a good, I'm a good translator.
You're an
I'm a
amazing
good translator.
translator,
Yeah.
which is epic. And I want to get into maybe some short readings in a little bit, y'all. So raise your hands, type your birth information in the chat box if you want to do that. Know that if you provide anything, y'all, it is recorded. We are going to post it. It will be public. So if you're not comfortable with that, please don't raise your hand because we will not edit the video afterwards. So again, to be very clear about that. And we'll get into a special offer, which includes a session with Sarah Lease and the combination of a school that I want to talk about in more detail before we get into the package and before we get into live call, Sarah, is we talked about the planets that take a little bit longer outlaying going through, but there's the moon that we get to work with and the cycles that are here for us
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
for a relationship that is really quite powerful, especially if we realize the type of relationship that we can actually have with it right here, right now.
It's a very powerful relationship. And I mean, everything is cycles. Everything is a spiral. Everything. It's just a matter of what time cycle are you on. So yes, the lunar cycle is the easiest natural cycle that we can tap into as human beings. And we've been playing with it for millennia. I mean, as long as we've existed on the planet, we've looked to the moon. And the school that I offered it for, I've been teaching it since 2020. And I taught it in, I believe it was June. Was it June? No, no, it was just this past summer. It was in August. It was
Yeah.
August for the BTO community. It was amazing. It was so much fun. And what we learn is we learn how to tap into the lunar cycle and ride it in as a means of personal manifestation and transformation. So the lunar cycle can be broken into phases, right? There are various phases, and each one has an energetic quality to it. And if you use that as a guidepost, and I teach you what each of the phases mean, and I teach you, quote unquote, what to do in terms of like a meditation or an intention or an action at each of the phases. And what it is, it actually gives you like this 29-day, almost like a spell casting cycle, where you
Mm.
can set a seed or cast a spell or cast a wish and watch it go to its fulfillment through the lunation cycle.
Wow.
So you can use it for manifestation, you can use it for your own evolution, you can use it for um, all kinds of intentions, right? It's very, very powerful, and it's very useful. If you're an astrologer, you can use it to ride the archetypal pulse that starts at the new moon. And that's
Mm.
really interesting for astrologers to do because we're always interested in learning more about the archetypes. So that's how I like to play with it. Each lunation, I use it as an entry point to exploring the meaning of that month's archetypal energy. And I work
Mm.
with it in that way. I think that is actually the most interesting way to work with it, but I am an astrologer, so you can work with it in any way you
You're a
want.
little
You can
biased, but
manifest a business,
it's
you can
amazing.
manifest whatever you choose. Break a
Well,
habit.
and this is yes, it's esoteric, but it's beyond that. It's very grounded in its application. It's the force of it and how we receive it and how we react on a continuous basis. It's the druids knew how to work with it and they harvested. And the farmers do it now in different ways in different parts around the world. And it's a technology that through an industrial age we dismissed. We dismissed it. We put it aside because we thought machines could do for us what God has been doing for
We're
us.
so another part of what's happening right now on the planet, I'll just quickly, there is this mini trine between Uranus, Pluto, and Neptune. Like the three outer planets are all in a configuration that's a very powerful configuration, and it's going to be there for a long time. Okay,
Mm,
like for the next year. And the Uranus moving into Aquarius is going to try to get us to pay attention to our higher mind
mm,
and our higher self so that we can understand our real technology. Right? Our real technology is incredibly advanced. We have psychic
Okay.
technology. Everything in our body is tuned up so that we can receive source energy through the top of our head, so that it comes down into our pineal gland. It filters down through all of the meridians and all of the chakras of the body. It lights us up. We're a literal cosmic computer. That's what
Mm.
we are. And
Yeah.
so there's this invitation into that. And part of what nature is it's an extension of that cosmic computer. So when
Mm.
we tune into nature or natural cycles, we hook ourselves up into our own technology more easily. We get ourselves off of the artificial technology and we get
Mm.
ourselves into the universal technology. So
I
and that is
love
an
that.
invitation for all of us right now over the next year. Like this is a serious ascension moment where we can tap up if we choose to.
Hmm. And I highly suggest that we choose to. It's
Yeah, me
and I talk to
too.
my community on a continuous basis. Like we are the technology
Yeah,
that is creating the shifts. We are at a pivotal time where we get to choose which direction we are going in. And I think we've already chosen. It's a whole different conversation, but we're in the process of consciously making a choice and evolving one way or another. And we're the technology. As we activate this technology with benevolence, with that empathy, our capacity to destroy, to create war, to see another person impoverished while we're abundant ceases to exist. We raise each other up through our sovereignty, honoring the sovereignty in another, but also the holiness that they
yeah,
lead as well, right?
exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Exciting times. Exciting times. So that's for the next year. So that is coming. And is there something that we should be paying attention to, noticing within the field as this rises?
Um, well, is there something we should be paying attention to? I don't
Or,
know.
or
I
are
mean,
there like breadcrumbs
yeah,
along
and
the
by
way
the
that are
way,
kind of telling us what's happening? Yeah.
it's more than a year. It's like
Hmm.
it's all of this next year and a little bit beyond. So it's like sort of a very long configuration that's going to change the entire collective field. Like this is a game changing kind of a symbol.
Hmm.
What can we do ourselves? I mean, I think we always have to choose up and we always have a choice to make,
Hmm.
and that it's our will force that makes the decision for us. And we can point ourselves in any direction we choose to. Like we can really decide what to indulge in or what to make important because wherever our thoughts are, energy flows toward that. So,
Hmm.
will, I think it's a combination of will, we have to choose, consciousness, awareness, we have to know what we're choosing, and we have to stay disciplined. But then that's my process, right? That's my
Yeah.
birth chart.
Makes sense.
We
Makes
each have
sense.
our own way of doing this. And when that's why you have to follow the map of your soul. You have to follow your blueprint. You can't necessarily listen to me. And I think that's part of the game right now is individuation. And the sacredness of me means I have to learn myself. I have to learn my blueprint. What is my path? And what
Yeah.
are my choices that lock me up into that higher frequency or that higher self? And it's going to be
Don't,
completely 100% your own thing.
yeah. Don't you find that in that space that you're also calling others that are in your life into their own sovereignty as well? That
You do it
you're really taking a
100%. Yeah,
stand for it.
100%.
It's
Yeah.
like, no, I'm not doing that for you. You choose, you decide. I'm not here to convince you. You're there to make sovereign choice based on the truth that I'm
Yeah.
capable of representing towards you, right?
You know, it might even feel a little bit selfish, right? Like this, like what we're moving into.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
It's like, oh my God, am I allowed to like put myself first like this? But but you're right. Like if we're supposed to own ourselves, if we're supposed to own the sacredness of me, then that does mean being a little bit more assertive with our boundary, right?
Yeah.
Which is not what we've just come out of like the lack of boundary central, like for the last 14 years, no boundaries.
Oh my
We
God.
have to
All my
hold.
water signs, I'm like the king of that sometimes. It's crazy. Yeah. But it shifted dramatically. Dramatically.
Yeah, and Neptune just went back into Pisces today, by the way. It's
Uh,
going back there for a little while. So we're doing a little bit of revision. We're going to be back in that world of blurriness and gentleness. And
hmm.
then it's going to come back into Aries until December 10th. I think it goes direct in December 10th, somewhere in December.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I don't know exactly when it's moving back into Aries, but when it does come back into Aries, it's never going back to Pisces again. So we're just getting
Mhm.
this very small window where we kind of get to go back into that older archetype and clear it up, clean it up, revisit it.
I've been tracking those dates since about December 6th or 7th. And the reason I'm aware of those dates
Yeah.
was from my last reading with you a couple of months ago. So
Oh, well, there you go.
I'm
There
paying
you
attention.
go.
It's so in alignment with what's coming through. And
Yeah.
it's such a gift to like breathe into it and to know that even those knowings, the intuitions, the dreams that are coming in, informing us that the visions or voices in meditation, that they all it's all like the same energy, the same path, if you will, that's
Yeah.
guiding it to have the tool and the map that we had in our session together has been so helpful again in as a
Yeah.
validation, as a receiving and understanding deeper below the surface, because with any type of interpretation, we can have a surface level understanding and take it at face value, but
Mhm.
we're much more intricate and consciously spiritually deep than just that first layer of intelligence. So to be able to go down below the surface and again, really mine those gifts, the gold that it's there. There's
Mhm.
light and darkness in
Yeah.
that mining, and to be able to integrate all of it, it's just powerful. It's extraordinarily powerful. Um, y'all, I'm going to start getting into a little bit of Q&A. So some of y'all have raised your hands. I promoted you to panelist. I've got some in the chat. I promise we'll get to you. For those of you who absolutely know that you want your session with Sarah, the link is in the chat box. You can get to the special, and we're going to go through the special offer in a little bit, y'all, a little bit in a little more detail. But again, if you want to sign up now, get on the calendar fast, sooner rather than later. Click on the special
Yeah,
offer
there
in
are
the chat
only
box.
50. I'm only doing 50
Okay.
sessions. So if you
I'm
want to
buying one.
sign
That's
up, grab one,
49.
grab
That's
one.
49.
Yeah.
Or maybe can there be 51 so I can get one too?
You can have one anytime you want,
Okay,
Sean. Are you
51.
kidding?
There's 50.
You're
Um,
always welcome.
you'll take advantage of it. Again, the link's in the chat box, and you can find the link also. The special offer button is right below the video where you're watching the call from, either live or on the replay. And
Mhm.
always on Beyond the Ordinary at beyondtheordinaryshow.com/marketplace. Um, and Sarah, Lisa, you ready to take on some live callers?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
I love it.
Like there's a lot of people who've put like so we've got some friends right here on the screen. I guess I'm gonna start with one of you guys, right?
Yeah, let's start with the screen. Marcella, let's start with you, and I'll start filtering through the chat box so that you don't have to worry about any of that.
Okay, so
Hey,
who's
John. Sorry.
Marcella? Are we gonna start with Marcella?
We're starting with Marcella, yeah.
Okay,
Thank
Marcella.
you, John. Hey, Sarah. Happy birthday, Leanne. We put it on the chat. So I think this chart, astrology chart, is so interesting because I just did one after a long period, and I was blown away, even like with the whole chart, because I'm a Pisces,
Mm.
but I have my chart. Everything is like 3 or 6 or 9. It's so interesting. Should I give my
Your
birthday?
birthday, yeah, what's your birthday?
Is March 6,
Okay.
1983,
And
1983. And what
Pisces.
time were you born?
3:35 a.m.
3:35 a.m. And what city?
Brasilia, Brazil is the capital.
Brasilia
Yes, with the S.
with an S, Brasilia.
I, yes.
Brasilia, yes.
Brasilia. Okay, perfect. Okay. Oopsies, I just lost it. Hold on a second. I'm getting it. Marcella. All right. Let's take a look at this chart. Do you want the chart on the screen or should I just talk about it, John?
Why don't you talk about it? Actually, you know what? No, why don't you for now, why don't you share the chart so that people can see what you're working through? I think that'd be great.
Okay.
And
I'm gonna request to
I
be able to share.
there you go.
Thank you so much. Okay, so this is just a basic astro.com chart. You can get this for free at astro.com. It's super easy
Uh-huh.
if you want to look at your chart. It's very, very
Mhm.
simple. So this is a picture of Marcella's chart, and she is a sun in Pisces. She has a moon in Sagittarius conjunct Jupiter and Uranus. That's fascinating. And she has a huge stellium of Sagittarius in the 11th house, and she's an Aquarius rising. So you have a very sweet and shy nature, Marcella, that's quite private, but there's this massive big energy that you have, right? So you probably find that a little confusing sometimes, because boy, can you show up in the group, you can really, really show up and be very bold and very loud and fiery and very assertive. And yet underneath the surface, you're actually incredibly sensitive and very quiet. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very tender. Now, it looks to me, okay, so anytime I see a Pluto at 29 degrees of Libra with Saturn in the ninth house, that is a very old soul who's come through lifetimes of working through very profound truth. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
You hold a code in your soul, you just know things, you have a deep wisdom about you.
Yes.
Yeah. And this wisdom is like, sometimes you can be potentially a little bit rigid with it. Is that true? You can hold on to it a little bit much. I'm trying to figure out what it is with this
Yes,
Saturn.
I feel like I can be restrict when I know things, but I do have like, is a feeling, but it's hard for me to express it. Even like with it, and it just, I know something's off, but I don't know how to put into words, and I'm like, I can be determined, like, this is it, this is this way, this is the way, you know.
I see. And so do you hold it back when you're in the group? Do you tend not to give it sometimes, or
It depends on the group. If I feel like I can be myself, I
Mhm.
definitely go to the Sagittarius. But if I don't, I just hold back a lot. I just
Exactly.
let
And there's a
people.
dream there. There's a memory. There's like a past life memory of not being welcome in the group, or being persecuted in some way, or being restricted, or not being allowed. And I think that that's part of what you just perfectly described your high road, which is when I feel safe as myself, when I feel like I can be myself, then I can activate my joy, and I can activate my wisdom, and I can show up and present in the group and share my truth with the group. And I can be assertive with my communication. And that's the sweet spot for you in this lifetime, isn't it? When you do that, you feel so incredibly good, don't you?
Yes, it's like a nurturing environment can let me bloom, and the other is just, I just be quiet. I go into my personality, that I'm like a very pacifier kind of personality. So I just shut up and let the how to say, the band play.
Yeah,
Just
exactly. And I mean, you're very sensitive to the group. You're very sensitive to the people who are around you. You've got this Neptune on the south node, so you have this almost supernatural sensitivity. Now, I want to say, sometimes you may think that it's like I'm wondering, this is a question for you, that does the safety you're looking for exist inside yourself?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? No. Okay, listen.
Because I feel like outside it is kind of my north, where I should go, where I should lean on or not. So it's just, yeah, I feel like very insecure inside of me. So I use outside to get where I'm stepping on somehow.
Right, you're
This is really a great
assessing,
up.
you're assessing. Sorry, John, what?
Listen, no, I was gonna say this is a really great opportunity, like going deeper into the chart and extrapolating, and there's things that just like the flashlight gets pointed, the light of the flashlight gets pointed right in the chart. It's like, oh yeah. And again, that point of understanding can come through profoundly. Um,
Yeah, because I think you're actually in a massive turning point right now, Marcella, and you are learning
Hmm.
incredible amounts about your karmic dynamic and your past life dynamic. And in the next 2 years, because this just started, You are going to learn to feel way more confident as you are, no matter what. And I want you to just keep that in mind, okay? That maybe it's not the group that determines whether you're safe. Maybe you're always safe. And that you can always find that place inside you of security so that you can bring yourself forward no matter what, when you choose.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I can just see astrologically, you've got Neptune squaring the nodes. It's a massive evolutionary. You're in a very significant transit, unlike the last time you saw something like this was 2008.
Beautiful. All right, Marcella, surf the waves.
Anyway, thanks,
Surf the
Marcella.
Thank
waves.
you. God
Yeah.
bless you guys.
Yeah, you too.
Okay.
It's Sarah Lisa, I know you can go so deep. It's like I
I'm
want
sorry. I'm like
no,
I
don't be
want
sorry.
to
This
keep
is
going.
fantastic, and I love everybody to go in. So don't please apologize. Not at
Go
all.
faster. I know. Go faster. Go faster.
No, you don't need to go faster. Also, I love that what's coming through, and I just
Okay.
want to show you off more because there's so I want to read different people's charts.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. No worries. I get it. I get it.
there's a couple of
Okay.
others that are coming in the chat, and I'll get some, but I'm guided to go to the is it Deanna? I think it's Deanna. Diana?
It's
Dana?
Dana.
Dana. Oh, Dana. Hi, Dana. Welcome to the call.
Hi, thank you.
What
What's
is
your
your birth
birthday?
information for Sarah? Yeah.
It's you want day first? It's 13th of January. Oh, January, sorry, yeah. 82,
Okay. Time.
11:59 a.m.
Okay. City.
Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
Can you spell that?
Yeah,
Hinton?
EDM. No,
ED.
sorry, Edmonton.
Oh, Edmonton.
EDM.
Okay, sorry, I didn't hear what you said. I know Edmonton. I spent every Christmas in Edmonton for almost my entire childhood.
Really?
Oh my God, it's
No
so
way.
cold.
It's
Yeah,
so cold.
so cold. Okay, so Dana, Capricorn. Look at that beautiful Capricorn sun you have up there in the 10th house. Moon in Virgo, and you're a Taurus rising. You're triple Earth. Aren't you grounded? Do you have a very strong professional reality?
Yes.
Yeah, I can imagine
Sarah,
that.
can we see her chart? Can you share the screen?
I am sharing the screen.
Oh, can y'all see the screen? You can't.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go to it. Oh, great.
It's
You got it then.
okay.
It was
So
me.
some feedback on that, Sarah. I've been in corporate wellness, mental health in the workplace for about 15 years, and I've just gone off on my own and as an independent consultant and having some major ups and downs in the last few years on that.
Oh, like you're not finding it as successful as you want it to be?
Yeah,
Okay. Are you working from home now?
yes.
Yeah, I think, I mean, just to be perfectly honest, I can see the rigidity of self-control and the focus on work and the focus on the rules and the focus on doing everything that you should do and on being very concerned about performing according to other people's expectations. And that is a pattern that you're supposed to be breaking, right? So you know that.
Mhm.
And like you coming home and you trusting yourself and being able to be more who you are, more of who you are, free to be different and to be the quality that you choose so that you're because you're immaculate. You're immaculate.
Mm.
You never make a mistake.
Well, so part of the reason why it hasn't been successful is honestly the last few years I did completely retreat and reconstructure what it means to work and all of those things, where I kind of went into a deep, dark depression actually for that and deconstructing that. And I'm just starting to come out of it now. But now I've kind of, in doing that, resourcing that process, that cost me a lot of money to resource. And so now I'm like now I have to like get back into it. But I did really let all that rigidness go to redefine that for myself. But now I'm panicking because without resources, it's hard to be all these good things.
That started in 2019, 2020 for you. Is that like a major,
Yep,
yeah.
100%.
So
Yeah.
that's when you had Pluto on the south node here and on your sun and just like knocked you out of that karmic dynamic, right?
Yeah.
It pushed you into this space of softness, of emotion, of inner attunement, and of believing in yourself, the brand of you. So I think you're doing the right thing, Dana. Like, I don't think you've made a mistake. As hard as it is to acclimatize to the new reality, the thing that I can see for you right now is that you are in your Uranus opposition, and this just started. You have Uranus in the eighth house. I think you're a very gifted depth psychologist. Does that make sense? Like, can you go right in
Yeah.
into
Right.
people?
Deep.
Real deep, right? And so
Yeah.
that special gift, that genius of yours is about to come online really, really hard. And it started this summer and it's going to continue to accelerate. So you are now being introduced to your higher self and your highest purpose. And that's what's coming in for you right now. And it is about going into deep states of transformation and shining the light for people, showing them the truth of why it matters for them to make certain choices over others, right? So please have faith in yourself and know that you're doing work that is God's work. Like, this is a spiritualization lifetime for you. Ultimately, that is exactly what you are here for, is to be a vehicle, like to be centered in the universe and to free yourself to do that kind of work. Okay. You couldn't do that in the corporate world.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
You're welcome.
Amazing. Dana, oh my God, keep up the amazing work. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Ali, Sarah, this really speaks to the path of sovereignty. And it feels like obviously you've been going through that. It's we can romanticize it and it can sound very fun and aspirational to get to, and it is. But what we have to rewire and reconstitute in our awareness and shuffle in our lives for new realities, it's an initiation.
Yeah, you really have to pull away from contracts and pull into yourself. And you've got Pluto on Venus next year, Dana, and Venus rules worth, value, and money. And so there is going to be a transformational element to, like, that's kind of breaking you free of certain old ideals and old values. And so I think that will bode well for you ultimately for your financial situation. Yeah, I can't make any strong predictions, but when Pluto sits on Venus, it will unlock the potential and the power of that placement ultimately. And with a Venus in the 10th house, I do believe that you will be able to support yourself with your work 100%.
Mm.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt.
Right.
It'll
So
just
something,
it'll just take time. Okay, so and anyway, I could just go on and on. Obviously, my sessions are usually 90 minutes. Okay, so-
Yeah. No. Even as I'm working on website stuff, it's just and wanting to shut it all down, it's just perfect timing for all of that. So thank you
Oh,
so much.
good. I'm so
yeah,
glad, Dina.
it's
Yeah, be
beautiful.
honest about who you are too, okay? Be honest about who you are. Thank
So,
you.
something I'm curious if it's coming up as a theme in your different readings, Sarah, because
Yeah,
it's certainly true for me. Again, the path for sovereignty, what's arising also, the dismantling of structures that held my identity and that I considered safety nets, maybe even comfort nets in a lot of different ways that I would rather not let go of because they were comfortable.
yeah,
But there is a deepening that's happening, and certainly for me, and Dana, maybe for you. I have a feeling definitely for you, Sarah, and based on conversations that we've had, is that we are accessing an intimacy with the divine or God, if you will, and there's more of that walk with God, and everything else has to align with that than trying to make everything else our God and then trying to find God in that somehow. And so the faith, the trust, that shamanic path that we're all being initiated, or many of us, I'll say, I won't say all, are being initiated through. It's profound, but if we can hold the truth of that in our heart, it really lights away that otherwise we might be blind to and feel like we're out in the cold. But really, there's that warm guidance that warm flame that's available to us if only we remember and just breathe into it and surrender but be willing to become it as well.
100%. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
very, very painful. It's like we're going through this birth, like we're birthing ourselves,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we don't want to let go of the womb that we've been in, but we know we have to plug ourselves into something different.
Hmm.
because it doesn't feed us anymore. It doesn't feed us anymore. It's poisoning us.
Yeah,
So,
truly,
yeah.
truly. Blessings to you, Dana. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Y'all, we're gonna get into a special offer in a second. I want to go to Leanne because it's her birthday. And so since it's
Oh,
your birthday, perfect
amazing.
timing.
Okay.
Her birthday's
Cool.
10/22, 1957.
10/22,
1957.
1957. Okay. And this is
Two,
Dana, or who? No, sorry. Who is
this
this?
is Leanne, Leanne.
Okay. And the time?
2:39 a.m.
Okay.
and Cincinnati, Ohio.
Okay. Beautiful.
And happy birthday, Leanne.
Okay, let's see this. Leanne, happy birthday, October 22nd. Amazing. Look at you. 28 degrees of Libra. Oh, you have such a nice, look at that. You have a huge stellium in the second house, double
Wow.
in the second house. So this is the house of values and the house of personal resources and the house of security. You maybe, do you, where is she, by the way? Where is Leanne?
Where is she now? She was born in
On the screen?
Cincinnati. Leanne, where are
Oh,
you now? If you
can
can
she
type
show
into the
up
chat,
on
that'd
the
be awesome.
screen?
No, she's in the chat box.
Oh, she's in the chat box. Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
let me open the chat then so I can see if she's talking. Hold on a second. There she is. Okay, Leanne. So you really value relationships, eh? These are relationships are very important to you in this lifetime. I would imagine you have a lot, like a big stake in your relationships. And you have a Neptune on the sun. So I just want to welcome you to understand that your nature is a little on the out there side. Neptune sun conjunctions means you feel things in multidimensional ways, or you perceive beyond boundary. You don't have a lot of boundaries between yourself and others. There's a large level of attunement. Does that make sense to you?
Hmm.
You can sense things, you can sense people. Yes, yes, very psychic. Now, from an evolutionary perspective, this lifetime for you is about learning how to be comfortable in your body, actually, to be really comfortable in your form and to live from a place of unconditional love instead of a place of criticism or shame or feeling like I don't know, this south node of Taurus, it's almost like there's somehow a bit of a rigidity or a bit of a way that when you were younger, and I'm sure this is not a problem for you anymore, but I would imagine that at some point you held yourself back a little bit, or you didn't allow yourself to kind of lean into people in a very emotional way. And part of what this lifetime is for you is learning how to lean into the emotion, to go really deep, to be a profound and intelligent kind of conversationalist, to go under the surface into the authentic. Does that make sense to you? To feel really comfortable in that deep water, in the depth of authenticity. That is very true, she says. Not as much anymore, right? Because you're a little bit older. So as we work through our hero's journey, we come to the other side, we really kind of we peak, and we're always learning, but it seems to me that you've probably learned some of those lessons pretty nicely. So if I'm looking at your chart right now and talking about where are you right now, like what's up for you right now, what I can see is number one, you're you've got a progressed moon of Aries, and Aries is all about new beginnings, and it's all about excitement and adventure and letting yourself be free and letting yourself explore and letting yourself be brave and impulsive and independent. And so you're in a bit of a cycle that wants to explore deep things and mysterious things, like you want to go into the occult, you want to explore the mysteries, you want to explore deep intimacy with people. You want to have those, let yourself go beyond your limitations and explore yourself more deeply. Does that make sense to you? Are you feeling that interest right now? I'm not sure if she's responding. Yes, she does.
Yes, I do.
Okay. That's a pretty pronounced moment that you're in, this cycle of going deep and exploring and being brave. The thing about so much Libra sometimes is they're very poised, they're very elegant, and they like peace and harmony so much that sometimes that the mess or the muck or the intensity kind of frightens them a bit. And they don't feel comfortable going into those places where like things are a little bit uncomfortable or things are weird or things are chaotic or things are unexpected. Like they love that sweet, harmonious place where everything is beautiful and everything is good. And so I think this is like a real cycle for you of just like saying, who cares? I don't care. I'm just going to go right into it. I'm just going to be free. I'm going to explore. I'm going to do things that are different. I'm going to go under the surface. I'm going to look at the taboo things, and I'm not going to be scared of the darkness or the discomfort. That's one thing that I can see in the chart that's really strong. I think that's the major event. You are entering into a Saturn square next year. You'll have Saturn squaring Saturn, and you have Saturn in your fourth house. It's an opening square. So being really honest about your emotions, specifically with your family. I mean, I guess we'd have to talk to kind of get the story of this, but your life lesson is being honest about yourself and being honest with people that you care about and being truthful about how you're feeling and showing up in that honest way. So this next year is going to kind of test that life lesson a little bit and see whether you can really show up. Do you have family that you spend a lot of time with, Leanne, or do you have grandchildren? I am very uncomfortable with what is going on in our country right now. I want to change that. Thank you. I'm retiring next April. I've already signed up for readings. We can talk further. Okay, good idea. We can go further. We can go deeper. We can have that deep, intense conversation that you are ready for.
Oh my God, what a great birthday gift for yourself, truly. And a great time to do it right at her birthday.
Yeah, the 4 grandchildren. I think that's going to be a theme for you in that Saturn square. I really do. Like making sure you're going to have some time now for them too, right? You're going to be able to play with them and like be a cheerleader for them and be a strong influence on them if you choose to.
Beautiful. All right, Leanne, happy birthday. Enjoy your day celebrating.
Thanks.
All right, Sarah. Y'all, let's go into the special offer. We'll get into some readings afterwards. Also, there's some things that are coming up to share as well. But as y'all click on the special offer button and activate that page on your side, Sarah Lee, take us through Moon School, take us through the readings. And y'all, there's an opportunity to buy both packages. Each package A is separate from package B. Package B is separate from package A, but if you buy package C, you get both package A and package B. I just want to be really clear about that on the call right now. And Sarah Lee, take us through Moon School first.
Okay, so Moon School is 4 weeks long. We meet once a week, and the first meeting is going to be Wednesday the 19th, and we'll be meeting at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. The following weeks will all be on a Thursday night. And the reason is because we need to follow the lunation. So the first class is the night before the new moon. So I teach you what to do on the new moon at that first class. It's about an hour and a half to 2 hours long, the first class. All the other classes are only an hour long, so they're much shorter. And what I give to you is very clear, specific instructions on what to do to ride the lunation cycle. How to work with it, how to cast your seed, what to do every day of the week, right? And then at the next week, we review where we've been, and then we set the tone for the following week. And I will provide PDFs for you that are very clear and describe everything in words. You will have the replay that you can download if you missed a class. But I highly recommend, if you do miss a class, to get the PDFs, because everything is very timed. Like, we're actually doing this in real time. This is where you can't join this late, it's just not going to work. We have to do it in real time all together. And the power of the collective field that we create amplifies the manifestations for all of us. So it's a very effective group. It's very fun. It's very effective. And people find miracles happen.
That's awesome. Question. Were there any nuggets that you can share that came up during yesterday's new moon?
You want to get real personal, hey, John?
That's entirely up to you, but yes.
I mean, of course, I had my wishes. I'll tell you that. It was a Libra new moon, all about relationship harmony.
Relationships, yeah.
Yeah, I think the way I played with yesterday's new moon is I sort of Libra is a very interesting archetype, and it was a 28-degree Libra new moon, right? It's because we're moving into Scorpio season imminently. The way I look at Libra as an archetype is I feel like it holds the balance between our lower self and our higher self. And what I was tracking yesterday was this choice that I have to move into lower self or higher self, and that it's completely my decision, and that the relationship tension inside me is my job. And as we descend into Scorpio season, it's kind of like that battle, right? And it's the battle royale between the two. And so at that pause point yesterday, I was acknowledging, witnessing my choices, witnessing how they impact me in relationship, and making an intention to focus on my upper road and to not fall back into those lower frequencies and those lower dimensions in relationship. As I told you, I just came out of a relationship that I thought was going to last me for the rest of my life, and
Wow.
it's not.
Blessing.
So I've got a lot of work that I'm doing right now to figure out why. What did I do wrong? What were the mistakes I made? All of that stuff. So that was my new moon. I don't know if
Wow.
anyone else had a similar situation, but
I had a house that I thought was going to be my next phase, and it fell apart. And I know why. I
oh
know
yeah.
I know it's because I was wobbling between the yes and the no, and then holding like a space, and not it was so in alignment with integrity. And while I was in my integrity, and I wasn't not in integrity, but I was still holding a field that wasn't really declaring the sovereignty. It was like I was acquiescing to something that felt more comfortable. And so it's like that relational aspect with the intimacy of a new place that I was going to be in, it kicked me out of the field. It decided for me because I was indecisive. It was powerful.
Oof, that's a hard one. Such
Yeah.
hard lessons. We're being taught such hard lessons.
But how wonderful, how
Oh my
illuminating,
God.
because we're really the masters of our future when we learn to recognize these things and navigate and show up with that integrity of our divinity intact. It's like it keeps us on the path, and that really it's so difficult to deviate from it because when we do, we're going to feel the effects of it so quickly now in ways that we didn't before.
Oh my God, so fast, so fast. The lessons
Yeah.
are so fast now.
Yeah,
They're like
fascinating.
lightning.
So
Yeah.
new moon school, so you're setting seeds for the revelations to become more clear in the embodiment because there's more of our sovereignty that you're embodying. It's more, I feel you so heart-based, but so empowered simultaneously. Not that they have to be separate from each other, but it's
Yeah, I'm not that wishy-washy anymore.
mm,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm become much more embodied in my power recently.
wow.
So that the heart is an intention. It's more ferocious.
And so this cycle of the moon, you're aware that you're intentionally working with that. This and moving forward.
Every single lunar cycle I work with it. Yeah,
Oh,
every single lunar cycle I work with it.
wow.
And I set my intents and I work through the cycle and I observe and I watch and I grow. And every single lunar cycle, I use it as my spiritual practice, basically,
Mm.
to help me grow and to help me get reflection from God, from source, from
I
life.
love teachers that walk their talk, that learn from their teachings and grow from it and keep expanding it. So
Yeah,
thank you. Thank you,
you're
Sarah,
welcome.
for sharing in that
Yeah,
way.
and
So
the personal sessions are 30 minutes. We're just going to dive. We're just going to dip in really quick. So, but 30 minutes is a long time, right?
it's
Like
a lot.
we will have a good conversation, and I would love to meet you. And it was an honor for me to do this last time. I found like I was blown away by the quality of this community. Every
Yeah.
single reading I had, I was grateful after I got out of it. I was just like,
You reached out to me and told me afterwards. It's like, I just have to tell you. And but it's also a reflection of the quality of teachers and speakers that I bring in. Y'all,
yeah.
we magnetize each other towards that. So how beautiful. How
Yeah,
beautiful.
we're so lucky to have this space and with each other in this place where we can connect with each other. We
Oh,
really
yeah.
need each other right now. right? And that's part of that Pluto and Aquarius. Like we need to find our tribe and we need to remember that we have a tuning fork inside us that can tell us what frequencies are good for us and what frequencies aren't. And if we attune and we follow the frequency match, that's how we find the right space. That's how we find the right information, the information we need. As Uranus and Gemini is going to mess with the universe, like mess with the mind. And we all have to be able to learn how to attune to energetic information so that we don't take in things that will harm us. Okay.
So powerful. Y'all, so Moon School, 4 weeks is $147. There's a 2 payment option on that. And y'all, part of what also excites me about Moon School is an opportunity to go into another community that I think is really empowering that you'll resonate with. So I think once you do Moon School, once you're going to want to continue doing it afterwards,
Yeah.
and dive into community. So that's Moon School. Your evolutionary, not embodied astrology, your evolutionary astrology reading. Yo, in 30 minutes, I still go back and listen to mine. There's so much that I just, oh yeah, it's good to hear. And 30 minutes for me was just perfect for my brain function. And the way that I can integrate, the bits and pieces that are serving me in particular time. So 30 minutes of Sara is a lot. And for me, it was perfect timing. When I get to 60 minutes and 90-minute readings, it's wonderful, but I kind of get into information overload. And so I love that this is actionable and it's like we can sip it and really take it and move forward with it. And then if you want both packages, which of course I highly recommend, that's $247. So it's a beautiful discount if you decide to do that. So again, to get to the special offer page, there's a special offer button right underneath the live page, underneath the replay page. And always special offers are found on beyondtheordinaryshow.com/marketplace. This is awesome, Sara.
Yay,
Yeah,
thanks.
this is so good. You ready to dive into a few more readings?
Yeah, for sure. Let's do it.
All right, let's go in. Let's go now to Gigi. Let's go to you. Welcome to the call.
Okay. Hi, Gigi. All right. Can you unmute yourself? Figuring it out. I bet you're on your phone and that's why you're having a hard time, right? Yeah, it's always complicated to use Zoom on the phone. I never quite know how to manage it. It's
All
fiddly.
right, Gigi, why don't you try to find it? We'll come back to you.
Yeah.
And if you don't find it, maybe you can type your information into the chat box and we'll just go from there. But we'll figure it out. And for now, how about we go to let's go to Cindy. Cindy, welcome to the call.
Okay, Cindy. Hi, Cindy.
Oh, hi. Hello. I had a feeling you were going to call on me next. I don't know why. I just felt it.
Amazing. What's your birthday?
Yes, 9/7/67.
So July 9th?
Oh, I'm sorry. September 9, the
Oh,
9th
September
month.
7th. Okay.
September, I should have just said it. September 7th, 1967.
Okay. And what time?
My mother, I couldn't find my birth certificate in recent years, but my mother remembers it was 7 a.m.
Okay.
Does it have to be exact?
Well, as close as possible.
The
Yeah.
7 a.m. range is playing it pretty safe.
Okay. We'll look at that. What about your birth town?
Yes, Batavia, New York.
Can you please spell that for me?
Yes, B as in boy, Atavia. Batavia, New York.
Interesting. Okay, let's take a look here. So you're a double Virgo. Well, you love to get things precise, don't you?
Yes,
Well,
as much as possible.
Yeah, everything has to be immaculate. Okay, so and in the case of you, I think that timing would actually make a difference because you have Pluto on your rising sign, and so I'm not sure whether it's on the first house side or the 12th house side, to be honest, or whether your sun is on the 12th house side or the first house side, because it can make quite a difference, like 15 minutes, 30 minutes in either direction could really change the story here. If that makes sense, it could really alter sort of the backdrop because the houses really give us this context of the chart. They kind of tell us where things are happening. And so if we had a reading together, we could go into some dates and try and figure some things out that way. But I think ultimately you've got, let's just look at your nodes here. You've got a south node of Libra and a north node of Aries in the second and eighth house. So very similar to Leanne, like very similar, interesting that this is so similar. But there's this way that you are learning how to grow beyond your comfort zone and learning how to go beyond the part of you that just wants to stay very safe. And you may value things to like in a very certain way, right? As like, do you find that aesthetically you like things a certain way, and behavior is, you're very sensitive to the way people are? You like to kind of preserve your sanctuary, yeah?
Very much so. Yes, that's also accurate.
Yeah, and sometimes it prevents you from actually making clear contact with people, right? Like it actually makes you feel a little bit lonely at times.
Not exactly. But
Okay.
that's possible.
Well, that might be then the fact that the Pluto's in the 12th house and not the first, because that would really determine if the Pluto is in the first house, it would be a loneliness signature. And if the Pluto was in the 12th house, we would be looking at an intention to come forward into service and to use your voice more clearly and to penetrate into reality with your voice. Does that make sense to you?
Very much so. So I'm a realtor and a real estate broker. I have a
Okay.
lot of communication with my clients, and I love meeting people and working with people. And yes, that makes very much sense.
Okay, and you have a real keen spidey sense about what to say, don't you?
I I believe so.
You believe so. Well, when you trust it, it kind of comes through for you.
It comes naturally. Yes, it
Yeah, and
does.
maybe what I'm feeling is like that hesitancy. There's a little bit of you not necessarily want to get something wrong, or you don't want to offend anybody, or you don't want to push too hard, or you don't, right? Like there's that you might hold yourself back and not trust sometimes your intuitive, like your very powerful will, like you know exactly what to say. And perhaps that's the lesson here. Perhaps that's the northern compass point. That's your north star, is to lean in and trust that and trust your wisdom and say what needs to be said, even if it seems to you like it might be too rude or not perfect or disharmonious. It actually guides you forward. It leads you more and more into service. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, that makes sense.
Do you feel that? Is that accurate? Does that resonate?
It does resonate. Yes.
It looks to me like you went through a very significant turning point in 2022 and 23. Does that make sense to you? Where this gift of yours to be able to go under the surface and show up in a new way kind of came online.
My spiritual awakening has been taking place during that time too. So yes,
There
I
you go.
that resonates.
Awesome. Are you planning to do anything aside from your realty? Has a new career focus come in for you?
Um, Energy healing. I've also been practicing different modalities with energy healing. I would like to be able to do that on the side as well. But
Mm.
I am doing work with friends and family and my animals. So yes, I am practicing energy healing on the side with loved ones.
That could be a like, and did that come in during that period of time?
Yes, it did.
I
Absolutely.
would pay very close attention to whatever came in during that period of time, because your destiny line was being activated and you were being asked to go beyond your limitations and
Also
into
with doing grid work healing on homes that I encounter and work with people
amazing.
and places that I do property management for, I feel like I've been able to clear any negativity out of them. So yes, I've been doing that as well.
That's amazing. That's great. So that's your destiny line coming online. That's your destiny coming online. Okay. So that's your destiny. And like trust it and sort of ferociously point yourself in that direction and use your gifts, use your spiritual gifts in the environment with your friends and family, whatever way you can. I bet when you do, it feels pretty amazing.
It does. Yes, it's
Mm.
very rewarding, very, very
So
fulfilling to be able to help
that's
others as well.
Exactly, exactly. And it's not that you weren't fulfilled before, you were very comfortable, right? You were kind of safe. It was safe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing. Cindy, I
So,
saw you working on properties and on the land also very strongly, so that made sense in the healing.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Yes, I've
Yeah.
been doing this for about, almost 30 years. So yes, very involved with properties and just wonderful to expand out and do energy healing with properties too. I'm loving it.
That's wonderful.
like a whole
I'm gonna do a little projection here for everybody on the call. Uh,
Mm.
and it might be very motivating for some of y'all, and it might trigger some of y'all. But I'm happy to do both.
Hmm, I would love that.
Because this part of the destiny line that you speak of, Sarah Lace, and to have a greater awareness in that, I strongly know that we're also being called during this time to really embrace those gifts that we are uniquely gifted with. And so to stop denying ourselves for the sake of whatever other comfort it gives us because we deny those for the benefit of others, is something that we're going to feel the implications of greater severity as we continue in our years. Um, so to as you tap into your gifts and what's calling you as far as your purpose in the moment, and to activate the benevolence and that light and that love and that wisdom through you and not acquiesce it for the sake of another. It's really a call to action that I feel that those of us, well, everybody, but those of us in these networks, in these communities, we've been working towards this. And I'll have to say, it's time. It's time. So I wanted to bring that into the forefront as you're inspiring this with your divinity line, Cindy. So thank you for coming on.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you, John. That was so well, very put. And
Thank you.
I love this topic. And thank you so much for giving me my birth chart. Because
Sarah Lee's amazing.
Yeah, no
Be sure
worries.
to get a chance.
You've got a beautiful Saturn return coming up next year, Cindy. So you're kind
oh,
of hitting this graduation point in your maturity where you're going to be able to stand in your relationships much more authentically and bravely, which is your life lesson, right? To be you in relationship.
Mm.
beautiful.
Hmm.
Sarah, when you do charts, can you do it on businesses as well?
Yeah, yeah, you can do it on anything. I have clients who will bring me the inception chart of their business, so we do readings on their business for sure.
Amazing. Okay.
Yeah,
And of
yeah.
course, you do, they call synergy charts when you do
Mhm.
compatibility
Sinister. Yeah.
and between
Mhm.
partners and all that.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
that's really interesting, actually, when you look at the karmic dynamics between people in relationship, and you can really see what lessons each of you is learning and the trigger points and
Yeah,
how you're both growing forward together.
amazing. Now,
Yeah.
30 minutes is not enough for that. That's another type of reading, right?
Yeah, that's at least 90 minutes of
Yeah.
conversation
Yeah.
for sure.
I've
So you
had one
want
of those also. Profound, amazing what was coming through.
That's amazing. I just had a wonderful idea, a brainstorm. What about uh, astrology for properties as well? Homes, land, property.
I'm not sure how I would do it. I don't know. I mean, I honestly don't know how you would cast a chart for a house unless you knew when.
When the house was built, where it's located, the street name maybe could be used as a name. I don't know. I'm just an
Yeah, I
epiphany
don't.
I had.
That's a very interesting idea, Cindy. I will have to give that some more thought and noodle around it. But I'm just wondering, like, how would you determine the moment of birth for a house?
Right.
It's like a
Yeah.
process that goes on sometimes for a year or more, you know? Like, is it
The
that
day that it was
final?
recorded and finalized, maybe
We'll
when the house
brainstorm that
was
on
built.
another call, maybe,
Anyway,
Cindy. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
let's go on to our next caller.
Okay,
Blessings to you,
okay.
Thank
Cindy.
you
Keep
so
doing the
much.
great
Many
work.
blessings to you
You're
and
so welcome.
everyone.
All
Thanks,
right.
Cindy. All right, Gigi,
Gigi
we going
found
back to
her
Gigi?
button.
Yeah,
Yes.
she got it. Gigi.
Welcome, Gigi.
Uh-oh, she's still
All right,
muted.
Gigi, don't tell me you lost it after you
No,
found it.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Can you hear me now? I'm here. I'm here. Can you hear me
Welcome
now?
to the call.
Yes, 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 we
Yeah.
can hear you.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh,
What's your birthday?
12 January 1972,
Okay.
10:26 a.m. and it's New Brunswick, New Jersey.
New Brunswick, New Jersey.
Yep.
Beautiful. Ooh, that's an interesting one. Look at that giant, well, like lots of fire you have, hey? Look at that Sagittarius moon, Capricorn sun, Pisces rising. Okay, so let's take a look at this. You have this is really interesting. You're like kind of like the perfect complement between like a very buttoned down professional businesswoman who has her shit together and this sort of wild freedom lover, philosopher, mystic. Like, how do you blend those two things?
Well, I'm actually trying to make a transition from the wild mystic philosopher has been sort of underground and on the side up until now, and I'm actually professionally in the process of making the transition, as John was talking about, using the gifts from source and not, hiding out.
Amazing, amazing. Well, you've got Neptune opposite Pluto right now. So that's ultimately the real destiny point in the chart is the Pluto polarity point. So you have Neptune opening up your Pluto polarity point, which is in the first house. So I think you're ultimately freeing yourself from the binds of relationship expectations right now. And if those relationship expectations came about through you being a certain way or showing up in a certain way professionally, right? Because your South Node is in Leo, ruled by the Sun in Capricorn. So you have this professional persona. Is that true? A professional persona. And you want to simply cast off the shackles of that persona and you want to show up as you really are. And you want to show up in community, in a universal community to facilitate evolution for the collective. And
Yes.
really soon, next year, you're going to have Pluto on your North Node. So that's an extraordinary transit. When I had Pluto on my North Node, I woke up. Like it's like your future comes in. You can't resist it. The pull is so intense. It's as though you can do nothing else. So I think the days of you caring what other people think of you are almost completely over.
Well, they're mostly over now, so I guess it'll extinguish whatever else. I'm curious too, though, to bring in the esoteric. I know that Uranus is the esoteric ruler of Libra, and in light of that, just that new moon, I'm a little bit curious about the interplay between Pluto and Libra, and then Uranus and Libra. And then when John mentioned his out of bounds moon, I have an out of bounds moon as well. So I was curious when he was talking about that in the context of
You need a reading, woman.
I know.
Yeah, for you, your esoteric ruler is actually Pluto in the chart because you are a Pisces rising.
Oh, yes, I meant Uranus was the esoteric ruler of Libra, yes?
Yes, but you're not a Libra.
Oh, no, I was just talking about, I think, in relation to this just new moon yesterday. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Yeah,
kind of, is that Uranus in Libra sort of a higher expression of that than the Pluto in Libra? For me, I was kind of curious about the interplay of those two.
Well, we're combining systems right now. So, but I think like when our higher self comes in and it's seated in the heart, and we're fully universalized, which should be no problem for you when Pluto sits on that North Node of Aquarius. When you are literally in your higher self and it's in your body, then all the rulerships of your chart change and the soul comes through the rising sign and activates through the chart ruler, which for you is Pluto.
Yeah.
So your higher calling is to help people in relationship. Is that true? To be in like to do readings for people or to facilitate or to do is it like what do you feel like your higher calling is? Do you work one
to be a midwife of souls to help people go through the death of the personality and birth
That's it.
Yeah,
exactly. And that's that's Pisces, the death of the personality. So that's why Pluto is the esoteric ruler of Pisces, because ultimately Pisces is about sacrificing your ego, right? It's about the death of the ego and the transcendence into oneness or wholeness. It's transcending duality. That's what Pisces is about at the highest potential. At a lower level, it's ruled by Neptune. And you have Neptune up here in the ninth house on your moon. So at a personality level, you're ruled by Neptune, which tells me that you have this incredible ability to be whoever anybody wants you to be.
Yes.
Which
Amazing.
probably served you very well in the corporate world when you were on that persona, right? When you were performing for, the accolades, the money, the applause, the success, the ambition, whatever it was, the
I think
achievement, you could shapeshift into
it's
whatever they
probably
wanted you. And you're very
well,
wise and you're incredibly intuitive and you're a very good storyteller and you're probably lots of fun at after work drinks. But your higher self wants to go right into someone and transform them.
100%, 100%. And I think that
Beautiful.
Neptune that you just talked about probably is how I got breadcrumbs of connection in a world where I had soul awareness from the time I was a child and couldn't really find meaningful connection. And so becoming who people wanted me to be was the way I got any breadcrumb of connection.
That's it, of course.
Yeah.
Any
I
recognition at all. That was how you sourced your specialness.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
that's
really appreciate, Sarah, what you bring. I apologize to interrupt. Gigi, it's fascinating. It sounds like you're very well versed in your chart. Now, I have been in different ways as well, which is wonderful. But the way that Sarah Elise weaves in deeper understandings and highlights things that maybe we weren't calculating on the map or considering, it really brings in a bigger illumination. And again, the feeling of understanding and seeing just beyond the periphery of what I was capable of seeing in that particular mapping. That's why I highly recommend this. It sounds like you have an amazing understanding of what's in your chart. And come back and listen to what Sarah was sharing and let some of it sink in, not just from a like, oh my God, someone's speaking my language, but oh wait, what else can I learn? Right?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
else can I assimilate here? Because Sarah's epic. I'm just telling you, if you get a reading with her, like what else can expand in realization and awareness? It's for me, it's been a gift. And I would imagine that for most of us on this call, unless you're an amazing epic astrologer, even then, still the perspective and the clarity and Sarah's channeling capacity, intuitive capacity is just through the roof. Epic combination of how she is of service to us in this capacity. So Gigi, blessings on your journey. Amazing.
Well, thank you. And I agree with everything you said about Sarah Lee. She is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
amazing. Thank you. You're so sweet.
Yes. So
Appreciate
epic.
it.
Yeah.
It's my Neptune opposite the sun, and I'm just channeling. Honestly, it's not really me. I just open it up, right? That's what we all.
Wait, you're just channeling? There's no just about it. It's amazing. Um, y'all get the gift with the readings. We've had it here on the call today. Illuminating again. The possibility of who we decide to become as these waves are rising for all of us, and then how we, in the particular way that we're wired, have relationship with it. And all of your gifts, every single one of us on this call, those gifts are just waiting permission for expression, to serve you in a benevolence that's just wanting to guide you home closer and closer every breath. So again, I cannot recommend enough the special offer, Sarah Elise, Moon School, the 4 live sessions there, the 30-minute reading. I'm telling you, you will feel full when you walk away from that 30-minute reading. And then the capacity to have this type of interchange with someone who just gets it, not just from a very academic viewpoint of knowing how this is mapped out, but really the interpretation, the dream, the mysticism, the esoteric, grounding it in with a profound intelligence of how to interpret it all. So again, amazing opportunity to work with Sarah Elise. I wanted to get to so many more of you all. As you could tell, it's kind of like, come on, Sarah, let's go. But I just love what came through each and every one of you and how it's serving all of us in different ways. Thank all of y'all who raised your hands, who typed your information into the chat box. It's just really just so grateful for you all being here and adding your energy to the call as well. And Sarah Elise, before we hang up, is there anything that maybe you can share about what's coming through in December or in the beginning of January that you haven't spoken about yet that that may be exciting for us to receive today?
Well, I just think that between now and the end, like in December, we're just in that a little bit of that pulling back into the Neptune and Pisces. Uranus is going to go retrograde and return back into Taurus for a few months. So we're just kind of getting a little bit of a repose, and we get to kind of look back over our last, 14 years of this Neptune in Pisces, and we get to collect the data that we're ready to move forward with. And then in December and beyond, it's full speed ahead into a new reality.
Wow. Wow.
So, and it's all about air and fire, which are the elements of higher mind, higher self, higher intellect, and spirit. So we're moving into an era of mind, of spirit, of technology, and of our personal technology. And each of us will have a choice how to play that. And that's the opportunity to kind of transcend normal reality and move up and upgrade into this higher frequency is available for all of us. That little grand trine between Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune is until 2027. It's a long one. And it is like a literal gateway into higher consciousness. So I think this is the time. This is it. I mean, I feel it. I don't know if you guys
do too.
But it is like, bam, we're on. It's there. So yay, we've been waiting.
Yeah, and how beautiful that we don't have to do it alone, that we're doing it together, whether here on BTO, in Sarah Lisa's community, wherever you are gathering in, and sharing from that authority and that beauty that you each uniquely carry, and how wonderful. So exciting times. Sarah Lisa, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's just, I love these calls with you. So profound, so activating, and so full. Yeah.
Hey, it was so much fun. I really appreciate everybody.
All right, everybody. Wishing everybody a good evening. Happy surfing the waves. And I look forward to seeing y'all on the next call.